to Fantasy AI. All right, back in the computer room today, we're going to look at the cream of the crop at quarterback. Yes, we're going to look at quarterback averages, who averaged the most per game and was the cream of the crop. Let's get started here. First off, we're going to see the cream of the crop. Patrick Mahomes comes in at number 12. Yes, Patrick Mahomes, number 12. You can see he had 0 rushing touchdowns. He had 389 yards. Rushing is respectable, but he came in at 15.9. That's above, just a 0.7 above average, right? So you can see here he had 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns. I think part of his problem was the defense was too good, right? Here it is. They've drafted the Worthy to help out a little bit this year, but I think part of the problem was the defense was too good last year for Kansas City and didn't need to score as much. Scoring was down for that Kansas City. Moving on, number 11, Brock Purdy. He comes in, had 15.9 a game. You can see he was just a little bit above average. His thing is same deal. Rushing, 144 yards. Rushing touchdowns, 2 for the whole year. He had 4,000 yards passing, 30 yards. That's why he's 11th, because his passing was so good, but you're just not getting the rushing out of some of these guys. So you can see him come in at number 11. Moving on. Number 10 was Kyler Murray. He finished at 16.818. That's about 1 point above the average, the mean for the quarterbacks. So he's a little bit better. He comes in 10th. You could see next year he's ranked 8th. So about right par, right where he is. He had 3 rushing touchdowns in limited action. Right? That's why we're using the average, because it takes in if they missed games or not. And what's their potential. But he had 244 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. They have him ranked 8th. He came in 10th on the average last year, so it's about right. You can see they brought in Marvin Harrison Jr. to help out. With Kyler, you're always worried about the health there a little bit. He's been banged up the last few years. So, see how he does this next year, but it could come down to health. But Marvin Harrison Jr. sure going to help things out there a little bit. If he keeps that running up, he'll be a good quarterback average. Moving on, Jordan Love comes in at number 9. They have him ranked 10th for next year, so that's right on par. You can see he averaged a point and 0.17 above average. You can see the passing over here, 4,150 yards, 32 touchdowns. That's what made him up there. The sophomore jinx, is that going to get him? You know, the old sophomore slump happens at quarterbacks possibly too. They figure him out a little bit. He caught everyone by surprise last year. But 4 rushing touchdowns, that's pretty good. You're getting some good rushing out of him. But not a lot of yards. We'll see how that works out this year, but that's what might keep him down. Moving on, we got Anthony Richardson in just a few games last year, but you can see that average, 16.4. He had 4 touchdowns rushing. That's probably going to happen a lot at the goal line, right? Not a lot. Had 3 touchdown passes. I mean, it was limited, but hey, the potential here for the running added on with the throwing. It's all about his health, though. You can see they brought in Mitchell. I think it was a 2nd round receiver out of Texas, but to help out a little bit. But hey, they've got the materials there. They had a pretty good ranked offense for Gardner Minshew leading them last year. But this is, I mean, if you're fishing for one of these top or bottom, you're waiting. If you don't get one of these top 4, you're waiting, right? Well, he would be a good chance to take. Look at the upside potential there. Moving on, Kirk Cousins, right? He came in 16.5 points a game. Limited action here, but the average is going to tell you where he would have been. I mean, I trust Kirk Cousins would have finished about right there. But now he's going to Atlanta. Doesn't have Justin Jefferson. Doesn't have some of the other weapons there. So we're going to see how he got a new offensive coordinator there in Atlanta. But what I'm really excited about is you don't take Kirk Cousins. You see, they have him ranked 17th. So they ain't really on him. But Drake London and Kyle Pitts are the ones wait a minute. Now they got competent quarterback. They have a competent offensive coordinator. Arthur Smith's gone. So those two become more attractive. The team around him, that running back, the rookie running back last year. But Kirk Cousins just comes in and stabilizes the offense. And if the offensive coordinator knows what he's doing, unleash some of those weapons Atlanta's been building up over the years here. Moving on, Justin Fields. Excuse me, it's going to come down to, can Russ cook, isn't it? Because look at that rushing. 657 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns for a quarterback. Throw in the passing yards and passing touchdowns. Now, he was a little bit below what everyone expected last year. Looked good in the preseason, had a great finish the year before. We thought he was going to tear it up. Had a little trouble there at the Bears, but he's on to Pittsburgh. Ooh, didn't update that, but he's on to Pittsburgh and going to be behind Russell Wilson, but he'll get in. He'll get in. He'll be a good sleeper at quarterback to have. I don't know how long you can hold him. Depends on what your league's like. But if you're in a 2-quarterback league, you bury him and keep him on the bench as long as you can. Because once he gets in, you can see that average per game. He's one of the top because of that running. Dak Prescott comes in number 5. Almost 2 points a game higher than everyone else at quarterback. So if you got one of those, so-so, you're surfing every week at quarterback, and they've got Dak Prescott, he's getting 2 more points a game. You can see that he's about 7th ranked for next year. So can he top that last year? Look at that, 4,500 yards passing, 36 touchdowns. That's the worry with him. I mean, that was pretty good year. Where's there to go from there? You know, so here we go. His problem is a little bit too. He's only 2 rushing touchdowns. I'd have hoped for more. But moving on, Joe Flacco. Look at that rushing 2 yards. That rushing touch, 0. So yeah, he was only in there for a little while, but when he was in there, he was going crazy. 1,600 yards, 13 touchdowns, was averaging 3 more points than your average quarterback. That's Justin Herbert. That's who we're talking about was in the mean and the average quarterback. So 3.3. Joe Flacco was on fire when he was on there. Now he's Richardson's backup. You can see he's in Indy. But what this kind of question this brings up is, what about Watson there? Deshaun Watson. Why couldn't he do any better when he was in there? He's like 22nd on the list at average. So with the Browns defense keeping them in the game, I just don't know about Watson. I think that is over, I guess. We'll see. Maybe he'll surprise some people, but you're going to get him cheap. And he's not even ranked. 60th, Joe Flacco. Let's hope he don't get in the game if you're an Anthony Richardson. Lamar Jackson comes in at number 3. 3.5 points. Now you're getting into the top, and these are why you take these top quarterbacks in that first round. 3.5 points more. You can't be guaranteed that at running back unless you got Christian McCaffrey, but hey, only one guy gets him, right? So Lamar Jackson, 821 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. The only thing keeping him from them 1 and 2 here is those 5 touchdowns. Rushing touchdowns. The guys on the top beat him by 10. So, only thing to worry about here is they're bringing in Derrick Henry. I kind of like Derrick Henry next year. I mean, with teaming him up with Lamar Jackson, now I'm afraid that Derrick Henry might get a few of the touchdowns and kind of bring Lamar Jackson, although he only got 5 there, only for a quarterback. But he come in at number 3. He's ranked number 4. I would have him a little higher. I'd have him 3rd again next year. But let's move on to number 2. Jaylen Herz comes in as the 2nd highest ranked average. He's getting 4.8 more a game. If you've got him at quarterback, that's why you're winning, right? Look at that. 15 rushing touchdowns. 605 yards rushing. I mean, the passing's not bad. 3,800. 23 touchdowns. But the worry with him is Kelsey's retiring, right? The center, he was a big part of the brotherly shove there. They got him those 15 touchdowns. So we're kind of worried about that. Do we want to drop him in the rankings a little bit? With 15 rushing touchdowns, they'll probably switch it around, but I'm hoping for more passing from him next year. We'll see, but he's at number 2 right now, and they've got him at number 2. And everyone knows who the top quarterback last year per average was. Josh Allen. That's 3 years, right? Pretty sure. He come in at 6.3 more points than your average quarterback. You're getting 6 more at your quarterback position. Hey, I won one of my leagues because of Josh Allen last year. The rest of it was mediocre, but if you have Josh Allen as your quarterback, you're getting starting from 6 more points than everyone else, which is a pretty good place to start. You can see he had 15 rushing touchdowns, 500 rushing yards. Here they have him ranked 3rd next year, right? I don't know about that. I still have him. He's still my number 1. And if you got that number 1 pick, forget it. Maybe you take Christian McCaffrey before him. But my number 2 pick's Josh Allen. Right? I just that's that running ability. I haven't seen anything to stop him yet. They haven't stopped him in 3 years. He's going to be the top quarterback. Grab a hold of him. 6 points more than everyone else. That rushing, he's just such a dynamic weapon. Just a great weapon. I like Josh Allen. All right, moving on here. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that. Give me that thumbs up. Hit that like and subscribe. Get that subscriber base built up. Hey, if you have any comments, put the comments in the bottom there. Give me some comments. If you want to see something, now's the time. If you made it this far into my video, you can tell me what to do a video on. Send me some comments. And now this is the part I like to fill my shorts. Warning, this is a rapid repeat. Looking at quarterback cream of the crop. By weekly average, Patrick Mahomes comes in 12th. His defense was a little bit too good last year. Brock Purdy doesn't run enough, comes in at number 11. Kyler Murray comes in at 10. Marvin Harrison Jr. in there to help him out. Jordan Love, 2nd year full starter. See if he can keep it going. Anthony Richardson, can he stay healthy? What an average if he can. Run 4 touchdowns in limited action last year. Kirk Cousins comes in to help the other skill players out in Atlanta, hopefully. Justin Fields back to the bench, but for how long can Russell cook? Dak Prescott comes in next at 5 for the Cowboys. Had a great year. Joe Flacco, his reflash in the pan is over. Lamar Jackson coming in good 3rd. Looking good there. Jaylen Herz, Kelsey retires. Can they keep the brotherly shove going without him? Josh Allen's your number 1 quarterback by average. If you got him, you take him.